Anyhow, I am
All right,
noting.
go.
I am noting the time.
Let's move on.
I can't say per se that we would have a quorum to take dispositive votes. However, we really don't have any dispositive votes in front of us tonight because we are apparently not going to have a treasurer's report. I haven't seen anything from Laura in that respect, so that we would have to vote to either accept it or issue payments, which would be nice. But so there's not that. There is the acceptance of the minutes. We will have to pass on that to the next meeting. We'll just have to approve both sets of minutes at that point in time, unless we get a quorum. So I won't officially call the meeting to order per se with absent a quorum, except that we do have a major discussion issue. And I don't know if there's major discussion, which is in respect to our entreaties to the garden membership about someone stepping in to take up the treasurer's position. No response yet. Now, so we are at the point where we need a next step, and it doesn't have to be a singular step. It could, we could go multiple things. So, for instance, one step could be trying follow up individual communications with people to see if there's someone, and this is where I'm more inclined, that I'm willing to do, is it doesn't per se have to be someone who is a gardener.
No.
It's just anyone. We talked about this last time. It's anyone who, has obviously the interest and experience, and, is an Easthampton resident. I think that we would want to help. And maybe someone sees it as just as a way of giving to the city by helping out, even if they're not either into gardening or don't want to be a whatever. The two aren't the same. So I'm inclined, as a first step.
You have anybody in mind, Stephen?
What's that?
You have anybody in mind?
Not that I have anyone in mind, although I will start. I mean, I've got my ears ready to listen to that, and I'll have my ears to the ground there. But I think the logical first step, though, is to contact the city clerk's office next week, and they keep a list of volunteer opportunities.
Okay, that's cool.
So we ought to be listed there now, I think, at this point in time, since I think we haven't got response. So that's the first step. And the next step is just there are other, apart from the city and the city's website, there certainly are other ways to list volunteer activities. So I think we just need to collectively think of, okay, what's an organization that might have someone who'd be interested in this? Here's an example. An example is we have, Arcadia, is in the city, and even though Audubon, of course, is a state and national-wide organization, I assume that there are Easthampton residents who are involved with Arcadia and Audubon, and those are folks that would probably care, might not even know about our community garden, and might be interested. So that's one contact I would make, and I probably would also check with other conservation organizations.
Yeah,
there are a few around, and so I would contact them and just say we have this volunteer opportunity. But I think we're obviously at the step it would be nice to go into to finish up this year as best as we can, but then to certainly go into next season with someone already in place.
I have two questions, Stephen.
Yeah.
One is Laura officially done, like finito? She has no desire to do anything else at this point? And the second question is, do we have a job description for the treasurer?
That's a good. We talked about the job description last time, and I don't know who was charged with that, but I don't believe that there's a standing job description. But we need to write one, and it's very, it's very straightforward. I mean, it's very straightforward.
Yeah.
And what I will do, just to get the ball rolling on that, is when I contact the city clerk's office, I will ask about whether or not they know of any, kind of existing job description, not merely for our organization, but treasurer for any city.
Well, any nonprofit
Right.
volunteer.
Well, any city-based, it's not unique to us, right?
It doesn't have to be very lengthy, is what I'm getting.
No, not at all, and I don't think it would be. So I would start by asking that first, and inquire that. But after that, I do think we need to, obviously, if we're going to ask people, that's what they're gonna come back and say. Okay, so where's the description of the thing? We need to have something ready. So
Is there local media where we could put out some kind of an advertisement, either like I'm thinking either radio or?
There's what's the new local thing?
yeah, right, the remainder or whatever.
Reminder.
That's that, and even the Gazette still would run something.
Who's handling that right now? In terms of,
Okay, so that's something we can go. Okay, so that we can check with Stella about, because Stella does external communications. So we also did. It presumably was also posted. Stella took care of posting it on our Facebook, so that was another source. But I'm sure Stella would be fine with then taking the next step and getting it advertised.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a volunteer opportunity. I'm wondering if there's any way we can work through Holyoke Community College too, Frank. What do you think? Any kind of, is there
Well, with everything remote right now, that's just almost, and that sucks because there's a couple of people who are accounting tutors, but in the remote setting right now, and I don't know, they're kind of older. They're not really, I don't know if they would volunteer for it. It would almost be, it'd be a cool project for like an accounting student.
It would be, exactly. That's what I was thinking.
I mean, I'm almost, I want to back up for a minute from the whole search for this person and kind of put this in perspective too. We need to, I don't know, between us and the committee, but we need to pay these people who we owe.
Yes,
I agree.
We can't wait to find a treasurer, I think, to do that. So we need to ask for some help with this from the city or something, man. We're just kind of in a bind here.
I agree.
The good news is that we do have someone from the city who's willing to work with us now, the same person who said that we were broke.
Yeah.
But the problem is Laura says she cannot and or will not meet with that person during working hours because Laura now has to go.
Yeah, no, she's in that, she's kind of, she's in the same boat as a lot of people.
So the reality is Laura's got to transfer all the stuff that she had that was transferred to her to someone who then can work with the city person and get those damn things paid. I agree with you. It's a horror show and it's unfair.
Yeah, and if this was the beginning of the summer, I would take it on, but my semester's about to start.
No, I understand that.
And I can't freaking do it. Otherwise, I would, just to get the bills paid, and then we figure out what to do from there. But this, we gotta. I just got so much shit happening right now.
But the thing is, Frank, I agree on the one hand that paying off those bills is almost a moral obligation at this point in time. But that apart from it, to do a kind of a transition from Laura to someone who would work with the city to get the bills paid, and then to someone who would just do the job, because I don't think any one of us I'm not going to take on being the treasurer on top of everything else.
No, if I had, for me, really, if I didn't have what I'm doing now.
I got it. No, I know that. So the thing is,
I don't know anything about it, but I'm like, okay, I'll learn something new.
So what I'm saying is that what we need is, I hope Laura is certainly willing to do a transition with someone, right?
Oh, yeah.
Got all this stuff. She'll do a transition. It just seems like, in other words, for Laura to do a transition with someone who's doing this only to get the bills paid, but isn't going to really do it, who
Yeah.
then in turn has to transition someone else. I mean, Laura probably won't do 2 transitions, and the person who's been transitioned to do that may not be able to do the transition as well as, it just gets to be a little crazy.
I think the person for the city who insulted us should have to do it.
Well, it doesn't pick our
I
pocket.
think they should pay the freaking bills at least, and then we go on from there.
Well, except, yes.
I know, it's a
You know that, and you know that we technically have to, vote in the appropriation. So I agree with you. It's terrible. But let's do this. Let's do a full court press, okay, to get someone and be upfront with them and say, one of the things you could do would just be of great benefit to everyone is now work with this city person, okay, and get some, and get some payments out the door. That's a sense of accomplishment. I mean, so, that's my thoughts. So,
Can we as a committee just review what the basic steps are here? I think that would be good for all of us to be conversant with that.
Oh, I mean, like a finance committee.
Exactly. What is involved?
Yeah,
Oh,
I just admitted Margie.
Is this rocket science? I don't think it has to be. It can't be.
No, it's just at some point there has to be one signature, right?
Yes.
That's not hard.
Okay.
But what has to be done? We've got the bills. The treasurer has the bills. What does she or he do at that point with them? You take them to the city, and then the city cuts a check. Is that it?
Yeah, well, it's pretty much, although it gets, it goes, paperwork goes from this place to that place to that place to this
You
place.
just have to shepherd the paperwork to
You
make
have to shepherd the paperwork.
Yeah, that sounds doable. That doesn't seem like that's incredibly difficult.
Then maybe we just put our heads together and we just do this collectively until we.
I think that might be an interim strategy because I think we could be here another month from now with still no candidate.
And if I know that we're working collectively, I need another week. I need to get my class going. I need to get my tutors up and going, and I need a bunch. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we could all kick in and help. I could help a little bit.
Because one of the main things, hey, Margie.
Hey, woohoo.
I can't see everybody. Oh, there we go.
All right, there you go.
I think, man, we got it because we got to get Broadbrook paid if they're not paid because they're gonna come and purge that whole system at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Don't blame them.
And we got to get that freaking water out of the system before it freezes. So
Yeah, I think our goal has to be to get these bills paid by the next meeting. I think that, and if we do this collectively, so be it. I mean, I'll kick in and offer whatever help I can, and maybe the rest of you can help too.
And I think if because we're going to be doing this later in the day, we could see if Laura would get in on it too, just to kind of
Walk us through it.
swan song, so to speak.
Yeah.
I just went out, Sarah and I went out and saw her and Jeff a couple of nights ago because their farm is now, it's theirs.
Yeah.
Did they move?
Went through, yeah.
Yeah, they bought it right. It's a farm right out on Clapp Street.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's absolutely
Freaking
beautiful.
awesome, man. They got 20 acres.
It's the most beautiful area in the city, I think.
Yeah, it's really pretty. Man, they have out of the front of the house, you can see the whole range.
I love it.
It's freaking awesome.
Okay. Hey, here's the good news.
Yeah.
Margie, now that you're here, I've declared a quorum.
Yeah, you're the new treasurer. No.
So what it does
We
mean
voted. You weren't here.
Nothing's gonna get done.
okay. What it does mean, though, we can go back and we can vote on accepting the minutes.
Okay, I motion to accept. I move to accept.
Second.
Everyone had a chance to review them?
No.
No, don't admit that. This is being recorded.
They're beautiful.
But all I do is I take the agenda and I just add the notes in off the agenda to make it just simple because I'm just not into reinventing the wheel. So let me see if I got them up. Hold on.
So Margie, we kind of came on because we're talking about the whole treasurer position is that we want to just, for now, we got to get the bills paid. It's
Right.
and I'll quote Stephen. It's like a moral obligation. These are our local businesses,
Right.
so most of them. So the idea was that we would just try and do this collectively until, for now, just to get the bills paid.
Yep.
And then we try and land on a treasurer. Because if we get everything, if we get all the bills paid and the books are balanced, and it's an easier sell too for somebody to come in. Everything's clean, and you're starting fresh with a balance sheet, so to speak.
How many outstanding bills are there?
There are quite a few. And it's too bad because,
Like 5 or 25?
what's that?
Like 5 or 25? I'm just trying to get a...
No, it's more, it's like 5, not 25.
That's not too bad.
No, it's not
Yeah.
too bad. And
But they're folks in town, man.
okay, can I bring us back to the
Yeah.
order of business and get a vote on the, Margie moved approval of the minutes. Was there a second?
I second.
Mark seconded.
All in favor?
Bye.
Anyone opposed? None? Okay, the minutes were adopted. Unanimously, okay. Okay, so now we're at the chief, well, actually, I take that back. Now we can move to, there won't be a treasury report. Frank, do you have an operations report to give?
I don't really have one except that I want to send an email out that I'm going to do a weed inspection. I'm not going to do it this weekend, but next weekend.
Okay.
And things are, there's a couple of plots that for me are abandoned. The one next to me, which is that's my life. And then me, as I actually did a little weeding in hers, I'm gonna keep working on that this weekend. I think I can get most of hers cleaned out, and her plot. This is we don't need to worry about this now, but there's a raspberry bush in that plot, and that's an issue, and we're gonna have to get it out of there now. If we want to transplant it somewhere, that's fine, but they're like the Hydra. They spread. So yeah, that was something, because we have mint and balms on our kind of verboten list, and we probably should revisit that over the winter, and raspberries would be a no-no, but they're good raspberries.
You know, I do go by there. There's just never enough. Like, I go over there to see if if they can be harvested to bring to the.
No, you're just gonna go there and forage. You can't.
It's not enough. It's just not enough. So
it's not, and it's because it's not. You would need a series of bushes, really. Because Stephen, you have some, right?
Yes, I do, but this first year, so I don't have nearly enough to.
Yeah.
Contribute.
So, but that one we could transplant. I mean, I don't know. I've been trying to think about where. But if we're gonna give that plot, because I wanted to hold it for her, but she's moved, so that's not even an option now.
Okay. Well, I think we can put a note.
But I kind of got us off track. I do want to do a weed inspection a week from not this weekend, but the next.
Okay.
And that'll give, we get that out. I'll write it up, Marge, if you want to send it out. Do you mind doing that?
What are you writing up?
Repeat that.
A weed inspection.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll write it up and then I'll send it to you. I can't do it. I'll write it up this weekend. I'm just way too busy.
And I'm going out of town on Tuesday with no internet access.
I'm having a hard time hearing you because
She said she's going out of town on Tuesday with no internet.
Oh yeah, no, it'll be done before then.
Okay, and which
I'll do
one
it
was
before
it say was abandoned? Is it C6, Gabrilla's plot?
No, it's A. What is it? A.
No, Frank said, you said the one next to you, Frank.
Yeah, that's C. Yeah, that's
C7.
C7. Sorry, C7.
Okay.
C6 is Pate.
Yeah, no, Gabriella, she is She failed the last weed inspection, and then I said, if you need some help, we can help you. And she says, I could use help. So I mowed half of her plot, and I've never heard from her or seen her, or she hasn't done anything. So
And I emailed
she's,
her.
just so we know, just so we're on the same page, she's not going to get a plot next year.
I emailed her telling her we need to know and we're about to move it, and I have not heard back from her.
Yeah, because she's basically, from my point of view, she's abandoned her plot.
And C6, Fata, she
C7.
said
Oh, C7, I'm sorry, go ahead.
ill. She's been very ill, and she just said she'll go on the waiting list for next year.
Okay. Yeah, C7. That's too bad. There
I
was
think for
stuff there.
next year, we should encourage her to maybe take a half plot if she's still not.
If she wants to do that, that's fine. You know, we can try and hook her up with somebody and do a half plot. But what if she
get
does?
people to be able to be responsible for their stuff, and if they, if their health or whatever prevents them, then they shouldn't take on too
But
much.
this is the third time she's done this.
Oh,
Gabriella.
Oh, Gabriella, you're talking, yeah, not Fate.
And it's too bad. I like her. She's a nice person, but she did this last year. She did it the year before.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, agreed.
but
Okay. So that's your report.
yeah.
Anything
Yeah.
else?
No, I don't have it. I have nothing else.
Okay, one other thing that's kind of operations, but not. What's her name's plot? The woman with the raspberries and the tomatoes.
Yeah,
Mia.
Mia, yeah, and that's Mia, right? The weirdest thing, if you have a chance, Frank, those tomatoes, which are purple, I don't know if they're heirloom or whatever, but they seem to be all in. I go to them each and every week, and they're hard as rocks. Am I missing something here? They're like golf balls.
Stephen, I went too, and I felt with them, and I thought they were soft enough.
You
But-
did. I check them I bite. I literally, I bite them.
Oh, did you bite one?
Yes.
And they
They're not anything. The ones I've tried, they're not anything I'd want to eat.
Oh,
Well, I tell you what. Why don't we?
But I don't want to waste them. Are they good? Can someone just go over and tell me whether they're?
We can email
Could be
her. And ask
harvested.
her. Let's email her and ask her what she planted, because her email's still active.
or
well,
maybe,
you can harvest tomatoes too, and they'll ripen in a brown paper.
I know. It's just that they've been this way for a long time.
And they're purple, so we
I
don't
waited for
really
them
know
to
what
turn
they're
fully
supposed to
purple.
be. We don't know what they're
Green,
supposed to
and
be
then
like
they
when
turn
they're-
purple. But every time I check, it's just like I almost break a tooth.
Maybe they're for a driving range or something.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I don't know.
That's
Or
tomato.
I'm thinking to myself, maybe these just aren't tomatoes. There's something else, and who knows? I don't know.
The name of the tomato is Tee Off.
Yes,
Yeah, Marge.
Marty,
for cooking,
they're for cooking.
maybe.
Oh,
You need a blast furnace.
A lot of heat.
you make sauce.
Okay.
Stop.
All right. Okay. I just wanted to mention this.
Okay.
I brought various people there, and no one's had an answer. I haven't. I suppose I can write me a. Maybe I should. Any event. Okay. So that's all I wanted to add. Now the donation garden report. Mark, do you have anything to report?
Well, I don't do the donation garden. All I do is send out.
Well, right, but that includes the garden and the
Yeah.
getting volunteer contributions from
It
gardeners.
looked like the donation garden, the part that they were going to use for pollinator, is that one of the donation garden plots?
It used to be.
That's A4?
Yes. Sorry, right. It used to be part of it, but any event, yeah, that's taking shape a little bit.
Yeah, it got out in another
covered it up.
report on it.
Yeah, so that's good. I did want to mention that the pollinator gardens is someone's working on it.
I think
I'm
the
weeding the donation garden and watering it,
Yeah.
picking what little there is at a time. So have never really got a lot of contribution yet, though there's some tomatoes coming in. There's some peppers that have kind of come in.
Yeah.
Cabbage that kind of I told you, Frank, I never saw a head there.
Do we only have one plot for donation at this point?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's it. A5. And
And who's in charge of that? I mean, of that person,
Well,
volunteer.
we did, that was what Mia was kind of doing. I mean, any event, I've been kind of monitoring at this point in time.
Yeah, I'd like to enter a discussion for the winter where we talk about what we actually want to plant there, because I have some ideas. And
Oh, great, yeah.
we could make it a little more efficient so we have something to give to the community center throughout the summer.
Yeah, Mark, I think it's a good idea, and I got a good sized grow tent here at the house, so if we need to do some starts of some particular types of things, I may have room to do some of that too.
Yeah, I mean, I think we want to get things that grow easily and are somewhat abundant so that we have something to offer.
Yeah.
I think the donations for Monday for Stephen's pickup have improved. I know Margie put in a bunch of kale the other day. And
No, the kale was gorgeous.
isn't that beautiful?
Oh, my God. It was the highlight of our contribution.
I know.
Last Monday was Kale Monday.
Kale Monday, thanks to Margie.
Okay.
And she's still got tons of that. She's waiting until it gets...
Oh, man, it was magnificent.
the
Of
first-
course, it weighs so little, so it doesn't do much for our tonnage, but it is visually, it's beautiful.
I realized that since I only eat it after the first frost, all those bottom leaves are just going to turn yellow. So I just keep picking the bottom leaves.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, anyway, thank you for the contribution. I do want to mention that I may need to be traveling to South Carolina, and for it right now, it might be indefinite. So I'm just saying that in advance, and I'll notify it. But I might not be able to do the deliveries after this coming Monday, possibly. Actually, I have to double check about whether they're open on Labor Day.
Oh, yeah.
Right. It's coming
So it
up.
might be Tuesday. Whatever it is, I can do that. But after that, I'm not certain yet. I'll let you know. But I'm mentioning it.
Who
So-
else on this committee who's not here?
Stella and
Bill and
Daniel.
Danny. Yeah.
Well, okay. So that brought us back to the ongoing business of the treasurer. So I think we have, Margie, we decided a couple of things. First, we haven't gotten responses from gardeners yet on this, so we need to look outside of that, and we've decided that we'll do some advertising. We'll ask Stella to advertise it, maybe in the Gazette or the Reminder. I will bring it to the attention of the city. They have a volunteer list. We all, for our own parts, need to communicate with people to see if we know people who'd be willing to do it. There's a desire that was expressed that we really set, to pay the bills within 30 days. We do have someone from the city willing to work with us. The problem is onboarding us. And the suggestion was that maybe we kind of form a committee that I guess that Laura does a transition to.
Finance committee. I like that idea.
Finance committee.
Yep.
And of course, it's just us chickens right now here.
That's right.
It's not as if there's a whole other committee ready to be,
Well, the only job that we have is to get these 5 bills paid at this point. Am I right?
that is the chief. That is the chief.
We really need to do that.
We get that done, then we're good for, till next spring, I guess. I don't know.
So how do we pay these bills? We have a checking account or?
There's an account set up. We generate the paperwork, which Laura, I think, had kind of done. So that might be done. And then you have to ferret it through the city operation. There is a person who says that they're willing to sit down with us to get those paid. Laura is unable to sit down with this individual. So we now need someone that Laura can, or committee, that Laura can transition to, so that person or persons can sit down with the city person and get these done.
So
And by
this,
sitting down, we mean Zooming?
yeah.
Yes, I don't think anything's in person.
Okay.
And when does this have to happen by?
Well, I mean, they've been folks that have been unpaid now for months and years. I mean, it's not good.
By our next meeting, Margie.
So that's what Mark said. to have it, the goal to get them paid by next month. Now the question is, okay, who's willing to serve in this finance committee?
Well, that would be everybody.
Yeah, committee of the whole.
Well, Margie, you don't have to, but we all kind of decided we were just going to try and do it as a collective to at least get the bills paid.
Yeah.
And like I said, and then get the sheets balanced, and then, then if we can find somebody, they're going to come in with a clean slate.
Yeah, I mean, we have the money. We have the money. It's
We
not
have
a
the money.
problem.
That's not the problem.
It's not a money
democracy, man.
And we also we have petty cash that's going to have to be moved to someone else to hold that too. So anyway, it would be lovely if we were able to really work hard, maybe to get someone in place within a week, then work with the committee and get the goddamn thing done. So
I don't know you're going to get a treasurer within a week. I think that's...
Well, it's not, if we really started to, first of all, get these things out immediately and then start to really talk with people. You can't rely per se on someone responding. You have to do outreach to get someone. Just think, we all are capable of doing this.
Well, I don't know who we're reaching out to, Stephen. I'm confused.
Well, think about people in your universe, okay, who might have the interest of skill. I'm thinking, and I made some suggestions about maybe I might call over to Arcadia. There's some climate groups. I could ask those folks care about things like community gardens. So I'm already starting to think. I think we all need to do this now, all of us.
Yeah, I think you have the connections. I'm relatively new to the city, so I can't
okay.
A lot of people.
Well, now that we've decided that we can't expect a gardener to do it, which would have been preferable, but so this will be a task, and I am going to start right off by contacting the city. Maybe the city clerk, who is
I think that's a good place to start.
Barbara might know someone right off the top of her head.
There you go. That's a good start.
Okay, I will do that.
Excellent.
On Monday.
What about contacting people like Grow Food Northampton? Places like that. They might know people.
Okay, do you want to do that? You've got all those, you've got your Northampton contacts.
You guys. It's really hard competing with 3 males to get a voice out there, let me tell you.
All right.
But I'm going out of town next week. For the next month, I'm going to be really tied up because my son's having 2 surgery. My dad, who's 96, needs an aid. They found out that my wrist has 2 fractures in it.
Oh, jeez.
Never told me that. I heard it in April, and it's still hurting. I went to the doctor. They did more x-rays just yesterday, and it's fractured on both sides. So my participation in any kind of writing is going to be a little limited.
Well, maybe, Margie, just think about a call.
Let me finish. In about a month, my time will open up considerably, and I'll be able to do more.
Between now and then, in terms of if you can think of just a contact or two that we can just get a quick call out to and have them feedback, and you don't do anything more before you leave, as a start.
There's no way I can do anything before I leave. My son's having surgery tomorrow. He's going to need me, and I'm leaving on Tuesday.
Oh, tomorrow. Okay.
And then he's having another surgery on the 15th. He lives 3 doors down from me, so I'm his person.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And then my dad, who's getting a little bit loonier every day.
Yeah.
Some really funny things, but it's a little disconcerting.
Yeah.
But I'll keep my brain functioning.
And we do agree that we're really seeking Easthampton residents.
If possible.
Well,
or are we that desperate?
Well, there's no law that says we have to, is there?
I don't know if there's a law, but I don't know.
Yeah.
There may be something that might say that people can't, I'm operating, Mark, on the notion that there's something that might obligate us to do. So let's just focus on
I think that's the first place to focus for
I
sure.
think it's preferred, but we'll see what happens if you can find somebody.
I'll go around my neighborhood and start knocking on doors.
You can do
That's
that.
what I like. Bring some beer with you.
That's exactly right.
Make yourself popular.
Sierra Nevada torpedo tonight.
Woo-wee.
Hey,
couldn't-
Frank, you ever think of brewing your own?
Nope. I did for about a half an hour until I talked to somebody about how involved it is, and,
Oh, it's involved.
and it's kind of like chemistry, and I was like,
It is.
ah.
It's alchemy.
And it is, and I do know that New City Brewery now has their Button City Nut Brown Ale on tap, and I'm telling you all, it is an awesome beer.
Oh, I'll have to try.
It's good, but if you go there, if you don't get it to go, if you go to sit, and Jasar and I did last weekend, a weekend before we went,
Yeah.
2 nights. You have to buy something to eat. That's the state law.
Yeah.
So, and it's, don't get the paprika almonds. It's like $7 for this little thing of almonds. But we got crab. Anyway, we got some food, but it was just I would have paid. I got crab toast. It was like $11. It was piled with crab meat. It was really good, actually. But I would have paid $11 just to sit outside at a place and chill out with my wife and have a beer.
Mm.
It was nice.
So is the reason why you went with a California brew right now is because you just had a whole afternoon of a USC person or what?
Oh, but that, actually, you got to remember now, they're down in North Carolina as well.
They are?
They have an East Coast brewery near Asheville.
Oh, I haven't been to Asheville, although I think if I went there, I'd probably like it. The rest of
I have friends who've been there, and actually, it would have been cool to be there like 10 years ago. Now everybody knows about it.
It's not
so cool.
It's not a hidden gem anymore.
No, but the Appalachians of North Carolina, that's the prettiest part of the whole Appalachian train by far.
Mm.
All the mountains there, they're gorgeous.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a pretty part of North Carolina. Yeah. And I don't know how I got us off on the beer thing.
No,
yeah, you started the beer.
I said, make yourself popular. So that was me. That was my.
Oh my.
Well, okay. The good news is that we have completed our agenda.
Yeah.
Unless someone wanted to raise a new piece of business.
I'm trying to think if there's anything up there at the garden that would be new business, but everything is everything other than doing a weed inspection. Because the reason I want to do a weed inspection, I want people to weed now before stuff has already gone to seed, but there's other stuff that hasn't, and it would be good to just get people in there. They're not going to clean everything up perfectly, but just to try and knock stuff down before.
Well, my strawberry patch got overgrown, and I was just waiting for cooler weather to come in to weed it on.
Yeah, no, and I guarantee you that's why some people they haven't weeded, because
I know, but I will, because I realize it. It's close to when it'll turn to seed, and that's no good. So
I have a question about that big mound of, I guess it's weeds at the far end near the shed. Is that intentional, or do we turn that over? That really has got some compost in it. I don't know if you guys are aware, but if you dig down a little bit there.
Which one?
It's a big pile of weeds that is down near the shed, off to the left of the shed.
A circle?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where the compost was last season.
Well, this is not the compost. It's to the left of that. It's a big place where people bring all their weeds.
Oh, that. Oh. I would, at this point, because stuff's gone to seed. I mean, if we were gonna do something there, the better idea would be to take, because it's not we couldn't. I wouldn't use it as compost because it's full of weed seeds, but we could use it out in the corridors. But we would have to take all of the top. I wouldn't turn it unless we don't want to use it this year.
No, I just was observing how it's building up and getting higher and higher.
Well, I
Yeah.
have to admit, that's where I've been bringing weeds to. Should we seal it off?
Well, I think the problem is too that the weed, it's coming out.
Yes, it's spreading outward.
Yeah, like the one at the other end, at the south end, like people are just dumping stuff and it's coming further and further out.
You got to have
So-
someplace to bring your weeds, you know?
and I know years ago, none of you, Stephen, you might have been around. Yeah, you were around when Mehdi was still here. He had the plot with all the nice broccoli up where the zinnias are planted now. I think it was like C4 or something. But he knew how to work a bobcat, so Russell up at the orchard let him borrow the bobcat, and he came and we pushed all of that crap
Oh,
back in. Yeah, and that's really what we need.
yeah.
Every garden I've ever been part of, whether it's a compost or a brush pile, people just don't make the effort to dump it far enough in, and it just keeps spreading out.
Well, they just grab it and throw it up in the back, you know.
Yeah,
It's
that's
probably
what I
another
do.
job. It's probably another job for somebody.
Yeah, I throw it in the back, but still.
Definitely a job. And I hate this freaking COVID shit is keeping us from like getting work parties together.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah, no, you know, it's
Wait for a vaccine.
I ain't standing in line to be first. I know that much. Not if they're gonna do it at the end of October.
He has to go through right before the election. Well, I did get my flu vaccine.
Yeah, isn't it? The timing is. Yeah, and that timing, that flu shot, Stephen, you know, I was reading up on that. You kind of want to wait till October.
I normally do, but I didn't
do.
this year only because I got these other things. I thought, spread out. But yeah, because for one thing, they prepare this thing and they hope it's the right strain. Who knows? I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, they all that it's a crap shoot with the regular
That's right.
flu.
You never know. You hope.
And now I had to get a double dose because of my age.
Really?
Oh, you're 39 now, Stephen?
What's that?
You're 39 now?
Yeah, I'm 30. Well, I've been 29 for a long period of time, but
They never mentioned
now I hit the 65 thing, and that.
They never said you got a double dose to me.
Well, you'll see when you go.
I've been going for years.
You know?
All people are getting
Okay.
All right,
So
so
this meeting is being recorded. So where does that go?
those the city has, I imagine, a cloud into you can record it on the cloud, or maybe they have a hard drive, whatever. But actually, that will be done automatically now.
So now they know about my beer habit.
I told you we were being recorded. I told you that.
They might want some.
That's okay. It was an intra-city brewery. So
No, it wasn't. That's my point.
It's all about promoting the local.
That's
You're
right.
not promoting a local. That's too bad. All right, it's 7:50.
Okay.
Is there a
Hey,
motion?
Just so you know, one more thing before we motion to adjourn.
Yeah.
Word on the street is that Park Hill will be making cider donuts soon on the weekend.
That's Jasara's project, right?
All I'm saying is word is
Okay, you have a certain. Yeah.
word is that it could be starting this weekend. So
Oh man.
Hey, I got a question about Park Hill Orchards, Frank. I was wondering, what happens to all those apples that are falling off the tree, like the drops? Do they do anything with those?
yeah, the drops some of the early ones they don't bother with. The later ones,
Yeah.
they will sort those. If they're not broken, you can use them for cider.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they just can't be. The skin can't be broken. Otherwise, they just go to compost.
Yeah.
But the ones that aren't, those are collected by the pickers, and then they come. I actually helped them make cider last year one day. Elaine called me. Somebody was out sick, and I had a kind of a easy day, so I just called in sick and went up there and worked and
Did you
made some money.
get paid in cider?
I made some money under the table, and I got a gallon of cider that I made. or I help make.
And then you let it ferment, right?
But yeah, so that's what they do, and the washing system is rigorous, man. There's 3 different basins with different types of sanitizers in it, and then a rinse basin. So
wow, that's interesting.
yeah, no, it's pretty cool, man, and it's a lot of hard work.
It is.
But
well, I've made it with the old-fashioned press, and you make it with those old-fashioned press.
You know what? Their press, it's crazy how this thing works. It's a tall stainless steel cylinder with slits on the side, so the juice can come out the side. You have it's not cheesecloth. It's because it's like nylon type cloth.
Yeah.
And in the interior, there's a water bladder. There's no electricity involved in this at all.
Yeah.
And then you put the hose on, and the water goes in really slowly, and it fills the bladder in the tower, and then the bladder, as it fills, it presses the apples out, and then it presses the juice out of the apples.
Wow, very
it's
cool.
all water. It's cool. It's so cool.
Yeah.
And then you release all the water, and then you take all of the I can't remember what the mush is called now. And then that gets taken off to compost.
Yeah, that's compost.
It's really cool. But yeah, there's no electricity involved.
Well, I've done the old-fashioned press with manual.
Oh, the old press? Yeah, no, I helped do that with the.
But you get a different type of thing, because it's these are old iron things. You get a little rust, but it adds to the flavor.
Yeah.
Little iron, extra iron.
If you like old iron sides, if you like that, which I do.
We still cook with a Dutch oven with a lot of stuff we do, man. Beans, everything.
Yeah. It's the Brazilian way.
Okay.
All right. At 7:53, a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Frank seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So we actually are adjourning at 7:54.
Awesome. And